Freeman.
Yes, brother.
Now we are fine here.
All good, brother.
We thank God. How is the voice coaching business going?
Well, it started roughly, but I can say it's getting better because people are becoming more aware of how important their vocal image is in comparison to their visual image. You know, it's one thing for you to look good, dress good, but it's another thing for you to sound good and sound right. If you look good but you don't sound right, bad business. You know.
Okay.
You know, there's nothing like when somebody looks fantastic. You know, it creates an expectation, and as soon as the expectation usually comes from the tone of their voice, you know, and how they sound, because people trust how you sound more than what you say. So whenever you look good, but the expectation created doesn't match the quality of sound that comes from you, it's bad business.
Okay. 95.1 Onua FM. This is Onua Showbiz. Now, and then you drink more of voice coaching as an artist. Do you need a voice coach or with me a boy voice? You know, a kama a man for any better. Mini Freeman and I drink more. And a Freeman on Titri on the any abrofu the AB. Inti Mikatria on the year Namabe. I will brofo. And I'm boy Freeman.
Yes, sir.
Freeman, yeah, shade kakra. Me artist na maba WOHO. Say una we voice coach and say utumi boa me na me voice need to me dimu. E na obaya ma me a ebema me voice in the kra me no. Me hu so sisi ade. Ade na ade.
Okay. So usually when an artist comes, what we want to do is find out what kind of voice you have.
Okay.
Because every voice is as unique as a fingerprint, you know. And every voice has its own emotional as well as technical value. So people's voice naturally have this thing that they make you want to cry, you know, if they put it in the right context or the right frequency. Some other people's voice make you want to think, you know. Some other people's voice wake you up, you know.
Okay.
You challenge you and stuff. So what artists need to know about how not just, you know, having musical skill, but know the emotional as well as the technical value of your voice, so that you will know how to use your voice to make impact, not just to make music, but to make impact. I usually give example of Michael Jackson.
Okay.
I say Michael Jackson could have been cool. We would have been satisfied with him dancing, you know. But then he knew the value of having technical knowledge of how his voice works.
Okay.
And so he spent time developing his voice in such a way that he made not just music for us to dance, but music for us to think to, you know, to fall in love with, to care about each other. And so it's very important for artists to know this. So when they come, one of the first things I do is to draw them to that part of their voice. That, Charlie, it's good for you to make music, buy beats and all this rhythm.
Okay.
But if your voice is not significant in the music, you will be forgotten, even if the music is remembered. You get my point?
Yeah.
Yes. So artists need to know their voice. Your voice is your original branding. Your original branding is your voice. All the other things that are genres and so on, all those things are there. Everybody can use them. But the thing that will be, you know, most outstanding is how you use your voice to sing, not just to sing.
Okay. Can Sembi from the beginning say, what do you check first is the kind of voice a Kuromo. And assuming I've come to you and I have a horrible voice, how are you going to help me tune it to an extent that at least my voice will sound so sweet in the ears of people?
There's nothing like a horrible voice. That's the truth.
Okay.
Every voice is different. Every voice has its strengths as well as its weaknesses. So there's nothing like a horrible voice. There's just a different voice.
Mm.
We call it horrible because we don't know the kind of voice we have and how to channel our strengths and minimize our weaknesses, which is why people like us, the voice coaches, are there. And essentially, the vocal cords are made up of muscles and cartilage, which means that every voice can be trained because every muscle can be trained because muscles have memory.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you can go to the gym and change your body shape.
Okay.
So that's why you can find, if you find the right coach, that coach can change the context, the quality of your voice, and highlight your strengths and weaknesses. So there's nothing like a horrible voice, essentially. It's just what we have is an untrained voice versus a trained voice.
Okay. Does the food we eat has something to do with our voices? Does the food we eat, contribute to having a good voice or having a bad voice?
Because our voices are built into our body. Your voice is built into your body. So because of that, it is at the mercy of the state of your body. So what you eat or don't eat can affect it, but doesn't necessarily determine the true state of your voice. So because your voice is built into your body. If you drink alcohol, for example, and you get intoxicated, it's going to affect how you sound naturally. If you don't eat well and your energy is low, your voice will become thin and weak. So those are the factors. But if you really want a quality voice, like I told you, like I mentioned earlier, the vocal cords are a set of muscles. You need to train them.
Okay.
That's what will bring you quality.
Okay.
As for state of voice, yes, what you eat, what you don't eat, what you drink or don't drink, how you sleep, when you sleep, where you sleep, all those can show up. But those are minute stuff. If you want your voice to be in shape, you want to condition it in such a way that it becomes something that you can trade with, you can make money with, you can do business with, like what you do on radio or what people do in studios or on stage, then you need to have it trained.
There's this notion about if you are an artist and you want to have a good voice, you need to wake up early morning and start shouting or go under your shower and start making certain noise that will help you get a good voice.
I've heard a lot of that, and there are a lot of one of the parts of the industries with the most error is the vocal side, because there's not a lot of information on it.
Okay.
So all kinds of people come up with all kinds of things that logically sounds good to them, and then suggest it as fact.
Okay.
But most of those things don't work. Like I said, the vocal cords are a set of muscles. If you go to a gym, they will ask you, what exactly do you want? If you want to train your abs or your biceps or your triceps or your glutes or your legs, and there are machines for it, and there are all kinds of workouts to help you target the area you want to train, right? It's the same thing for voice. They are the most popular things that people do, especially on YouTube. They're not necessarily to train your voice. They are designed to warm the vocal muscles that you can train. So all those lip drills, those and all that stuff, they don't necessarily train your voice. They help you warm your vocal muscles. If you want training, just like any other thing, you have to find a coach.
Okay.
Somebody who can put you in touch with your tone, with your pitch, which has to do with the character of your voice, the highness and your lowness, and help you measure your strength. Like you said, I'll give you examples. Those days, some artists would come to me and say, "Oh, I've been going to the beach to go and shout." And I asked them, I said, "Okay, going to the beach is a fantastic place to train your voice because of the aura, the atmosphere. However, when you shout, how do you measure the range of your voice that you have trained?
Okay.
Is that C major? Is that B flat? Is that A? Because those are the things that they put together to create music for you.
Okay.
So when you are shouting, how do you measure what part of your voice you are screaming at. So essentially, you are just abusing your voice. So vocal training has to do with you developing a vocal register that contains a low, a mid, and a high, so that you have a range, a wide range that you can play with musically. Your voice is essentially an instrument if you train it. It's not different from the guitar and the keyboard because it will be tuning to those frequencies.
Okay.
But if you don't train them, you can only guess.
Okay. Has there been a time that you are working on artists and, in fact, you are trying to make sure that you put the voice in shape, and it was so difficult for you? You realize that, no, this guy, I'm working on his voice, but it's so difficult. Has there been a time that you come across an artist like that?
Oh, yes. There are times like that. Why? Because the artists, some of them come with this notion that, what they do with you is enough. When you give them assignments, say, okay, go and do this and practice this and make sure that you get this. You hear yourself doing it. They don't do it. They don't do that. Their homework. I call it PPR, personal practice routines. That's what changes your voice.
Okay.
When we give you personal practice routines targeted at different parts of your voice to help you break through those places that are limiting you, and you don't do it, you find yourself struggling. So, of course, yes, every now and then you come across an artist, but then that's why coaching is the big deal. The voice coaches, vocal coaching, it entails you understanding the human psychology, the human physiology, and knowing how to communicate with artists, because artists are also some of the most difficult people to communicate with. The creative people, they have this thing, to be creative is a very powerful thing. You get to see, beauty where other people see, ugliness. You can see treasure in trash. So it comes with a degree of pride.
Okay.
So a good coach must know how to communicate and get the artist to focus on what is important. So many times it goes back to counseling and redirecting and advising, which is part of the job of a vocal coach, advising until the artist sees what they need to do. So yeah, I have artists who come as soon as they start feeling good, instead of them to stay and finish the course. As soon as they start sounding good and feeling good, they are off.
They are gone.
In fact, most of our artists, that's what they do. They never finish.
Wow. So does it mean that the notion people already have about our local artists, that our Ghanaian artists, most of them are lazy? Does it mean that these things are all part of it?
Yes, I will not use the word lazy. I think I will use the word lackadaisical.
Okay.
Because some of them they've seen that this thing works, but the mind to commit and start and finish is an issue for many people, and I can't blame them because of the kind of society we're in. Everybody's looking for shortcuts. We promote it too much, And until we stop promoting shortcuts and encourage people to finish the process, go through the process. It's the process. The process that prepares an artist for performance is more important than the performance, because that's the process that gives the artist confidence to be on stage any time and every time. So if only the performance gives you confidence, then sometimes when you go to the wrong environment, you will suffer. But if you go through the process strengthens you. It doesn't matter where you find yourself, because you've gone through the process. You will be able to stand firm.
You just spoke about we allowing people, or people should be able to go through the process before they go out there, and some of our people, they like shortcuts. How available are you guys? The voice coaches. How available are you? How are you people making yourself available for these artists to be able to also come around you and make sure that, okay, they go through the process before they decided, okay, now I want to release an album, or I want to release maybe.
I challenge you. People should go to my social media pages, whether it's Facebook or Instagram.
Okay.
And just go through it. Every day, everything I post about is how to. I give away more information just to encourage people to go to adapt. So that's not the issue. At least I can speak for myself.
Okay.
I've done this for the past 17 years in Ghana, 18 years, and I've touched at least, without boasting, I've touched at least 80% of our artists. They will tell you, anyone who knows me will tell you that I'm there for them.
Okay. Can smoking affect my voice as an artist?
Yes.
How?
Smoking dries up your vocal cords and causes, a lot more than, smoking has a lot of bad influence on the vocal cords and the throat region, essentially. So it's essentially bad for your health, bad for your voice, bad for your body. It's bad for your future. Your voice is one. You can't play with it. Smoking will do harm. It will do damage to it.
Somebody would say Bob Marley used to smoke a lot, and Bob Marley had
but how long?
one of the best, beautiful voices.
Bob Marley smoked weed and everything, but it was the same thing that killed him. Let's not miss the point. And the way Bob Marley sang, and if you check, Bob Marley also had a voice coach, a voice teacher, who he listened to. So he had somebody that he looked up to, he listened to, who guided him. But you don't have anybody. You don't have any boundaries. You don't have any discipline. Nobody holds you accountable.
Okay.
How far do you think you can go? Imagine Lionel Messi without a coach. How many matches will he play before somebody will break his leg? Because he wants to dribble everybody.
Somebody will say, as for me, if I don't smoke, I can't stand on stage.
That's a lie you've convinced yourself with, and you can be healed. Find the right coach. Find the right people.
Okay.
We reap what we sow. If you put poison in your body, you're going to punish yourself. Moreover, aside from the voice, the smoking affects so many other organs in the body.
Okay.
So why would anybody even want to glorify it? It's just a lie people tell themselves, and because of low self-esteem. So sometimes when you meet the right people who point you towards your strength and the kind of person that you really are and the capacity you have, a lot of those excuses drop. I've met a lot of people, and we've been able to get through to them, and they realize that, Charlie, I didn't need this in the first place. It was a lie.
Incredible. Lastly, before I let go of you, do you make money? Are you making money from the voice coach business?
The way I'm supposed to make money, lie.
You're not making money?
No, we are not making money. We are making sure that at least what I've done is we've been able to expand and get ourselves more notice. You see, we live in a society where people are more designed to spend money on goods and not services, what they can hold, eat, wear, and touch. But when it comes to service, which has to do with knowledge or, training and grooming, people are quite reluctant to spend money. So this, for me right now, these are the pioneering stages where you have to do the work to convince people that this is necessary and this is important. So I can't say I'm making money.
So far, how many artists have you worked on?
I can't name all the artists I've worked on. At least I can give you an estimated percentage of between 70 and 80% of artists in Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, and across the board.
But if you've been able to work with artists from Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, you should be able to make money.
My first job with artists was more a labor of love. It's to show them that this thing works.
Okay.
Most of the artists I work with haven't paid me. If you ask them, it was more like, okay, I need this, and I'm there for them. It's few of them that have appreciated. But when it comes to the payment, no, I am making more money from training business people who are beginning to realize that they need to know their voice, because they are talking to people on Zoom, they are talking, they're having all these meetings, and some of them are realizing they don't like the tone of their voice and they'd like to do something about it. Now I'm getting through to the business people, the politicians, the preachers. Some of them are paying for their services.
Okay.
The artists are the new artists that are being supported by their families and serious management, yes, they are paying me. But the beginning stages, trust me, was a labor of love.
Incredible. So, do you sometimes get some of these A-list artists, coming to your end to have their voice being trained?
Yeah, no, like I said, I have a relationship with a good number of them.
Okay.
Most of you, before they became whoever they were, that was when I was with them. Before she became Wiala, before he became Kiddy, before he became Mr. Drew, before he became Creamy, before, while they were still struggling, and that was when I was with them and set them up, and prepped them and pushed them and encouraged them, So, yeah, of course, how our people are. Sometimes some people don't mention, but some of them are gracious enough to mention that, hey, at some point in my life or every now and then, this person has been there for me to do this for me.
Okay, so the Creamies, then the Mr. Drews and the Kiddies, and I realized.
Daughters of Glorious, Jesus, Tamini. So the list goes on and on.
Have they been paying their dues?
Adina.
Adina, those. So it means that you've been able to work with some of these A-list artists.
Yes.
Do they come around to at least pay their dues or something?
No, not mostly. Every now and then we say hi on social media, but very few people come around. They are busy. Camido.
They are busy, eh?
Yeah. They are busy.
They are busy making money. Freeman Ame.
Yes, sir.
Boss, God bless you and thank you so much for your time this morning on our show.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.